Hello everyone, I'm Cobble, and today I'm going to be making a video on how to change the transfer case gasket between the transfer case and the transmission on my 1999 Chevrolet Silverado. I just had a rebuilt transmission put into this, not even 500 miles, and it has developed a leak at the adapter to go from the transfer case to the transmission. I didn't have it done at a shop, so I'm stuck doing this myself. I'm gonna do it right. Well, right. Right, because the nuts on the transfer case that hold the transfer case to the transmission have backed themselves off, causing the gasket to bust, and in such, causing a pretty major transmission fluid leak. So we're gonna begin this by chalking the wheels, and with these brake rotors, they work. Probably wood would be better. However, I do have a bad habit of hoarding things, and the rear brake rotors from the specific truck, because disc truck, honestly work pretty well. I hope, since I have to disconnect the rear drive shaft. So to begin, we're just going to go over some basic things that we are going to use. I have a Felt Pro transfer case adapter gasket. There's the part number in case anyone wants it. This is going from my 4L60E to the NP246 that my Z71 1999 Chevy Silverado uses. I have some nylock nuts. These are M10 by 1.5s. Got them from Amazon. And then black RTV. Have a 15mm wrench for the nuts. I will need to verify that those are the same size, but the ones that are on the truck right now are indeed 15s. We will also need a 10mm wrench for the drive shaft. I'm not sure about the transmission mount, but from a video I've seen before, there is nuts on the transmission we need to take off to get to the lower nut. I won't have to do that until I go to put the nuts back on, because the bottom nut has disappeared. I do have more ATF. It is just the cheap stuff because I'm cheap. I did forget to mention that since we'll be lifting the transmission up, we will need a jack. I have this Pittsburgh jack that my wife bought for me. All you need it to do is lift it just enough to get the transmission mount at the rear. I've already cleaned this area with brake clean a little bit. You can see the gasket has come apart. There's supposed to be one under here somewhere. It's hard for me to tell right now, but there's supposed to be nuts somewhere in here, and from what I remember seeing, it is gone. So there's 6 bolts that hold the transfer case to the transmission. Those are 15s. Again, the thread pitch is M10 by 1.5. If you still have them, use Loctite. For the drive shafts, both front and rear, should be a 10mm bolt. You can also see where someone had already, before I owned it and it never actually got cleaned up, RTV'd the crap out of this for the same problem. Alrighty, so there's, oh, this is not a 10. I lied. This is an 11. Alright, I have an 11 now. You can see it's on there. For whatever reason, this one, it's locked, so it's going to be a pain to get the 2 back here. But we will continue to take these all out, one by one, piece by piece, until Nathan cries. No, this isn't terrible, actually. It's supposed to slide out. There's a lot more going on with this truck than, but we'll deal with it. You can see both sides, well, both sides no longer have the U-bolt straps. Let's move to the rear. Yo, that is disgusting. Sweet bippity, that is disgusting. Right on my new stuff. Well, with this out in the sunlight, you can actually see the extent of the transmission fluid leak I had. Not fun. This is disgusting. Man, these feel like they've been torqued by a gun. Here we go, first one out. Now, time for the next 3. Do that. Oh, my elbow, or not my elbow, my shoulder popped. Do this any more than I have to because that is like cross-threaded in there. I did put the transmission in neutral. Should allow me, yep. You can see that I can kind of swing the drive shaft. Still not doing that. Maybe it's because it's connected still. We'll see. Holy cow, there's a lot of cars going by. So, in theory, now all we gotta do is pop it out like that. As you can see, drive shaft is out. Is it easier to do on a lift? Yes. Do I have a lift? No. You know, I will admit, a stubby 15 is probably a whole lot easier than a long 15 like what I have. We just got 1 out of at least 5 remaining, or at most 5 remaining, I should say, because this one is missing some of the nuts. Yeah, a stubby 15 is gonna be so much easier to do. I couldn't find a stubby 15, because of course I couldn't, but I found a stubby 17. I did grab this. Hopefully this helps. Probably not. It doesn't really fit, but it fits just enough to get a couple swings, and that's all we need. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is... it's way up in there. You can see the one I just took off. The one I'm trying to take off is way up in here. So we'll just keep on keeping on until we get this. And I'm not pulling this all the way out. I'm just going to pull this backwards, this way, so that way I can get the gasket and some RTV on both sides of the gasket. So the sun is on our side with this one. You can see we have one here. We will have one there, and then one at the very, very top, which is still there, surprisingly. Those are the last 3 we need to remove. What does that go to? Why is that disconnected? Huh, sorry, sidetracked. Squirrel. Oh, that one is loose already. I don't think I actually even need... Nope. It's a spinning on its own. That's not what you want. That is what is called suboptimal. I'm not gonna unplug any of the harnesses because I'm not actually fully taking out the transfer case. I'm just gonna try to pull it back. So I just got the last one off. So all the nuts are off. In theory, yep. Hey, wouldn't you know? Oh, that's what we need to do. Hey, wouldn't you know it? Transmission fluid leak. I'm pulling it apart. Oop. Like I said, I'm just, ooh. That's not what I wanted to do exactly. Oh. Fuck. Well, so I'm sure everyone can see this. That is why you do not put this off at all. This is the second adapter that this truck is broken. So I'm back, as you can see. Taking a look at the rear drive shaft here. Had to do some research and ask some people about it, but pretty sure this is where all the issues related to the transfer case adapter and transmission are. You know, seems kind of loose. Should not have that kind of wiggle, or that wiggle. So this is what's actually caused my transfer case adapter to break. You can hear that very specifically. This one is the problem child for me, causing all of the issues for my transfer case. So if you're having this issue, make sure you check your U-joints. This is the only one that's bad on mine, thankfully. I figured while I'm here, I might as well show how to take yolks out. grab a pair of pliers, squeeze snap rings. They should be able to slide out. This one's giving me a little bit of trouble. First one came out just fine. There we go. There's 1 and 2. Now 4, 3, and 4. Pretty sure what we have to do, take a hammer, hammer this down. Got a bent hammer. I've got an extension. I've got my PB blaster. Sprayer a little bit. Try to get down in the backside of it too. I do believe I am indeed making progress. All right, so after a brief intermission and to get some new parts, we have a new U-joint. This is what you would call suboptimal. U-joints are not supposed to look like that. So to begin, I, took to, set it in. Took this bearing, took it off, made sure the needles were still in there, right. Popped it in like this. And the other side, I went ahead and got the spring clip in place, so that way we can start hammering this into position. It still moves, so we're on the right track. I'm just gonna speed through this. People say to use sockets. I'm using an extension. It doesn't matter. It all works the same as long as it fits into the boulder of your drive shaft, like this. So, as long as you have something that fits in it like this, it's fine. And I like the extension because I can keep my hand as far away from the hammering end as possible. We're just gonna continue to hammer away. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I'm starting to get to the point where it's going down to the lip. Just gonna keep working away on that. You want to make sure you give it good solid dead blows center on it. I'm just starting to get to the point where I can get the C-clip in. It's almost there. Take your pliers like this, squeeze it in. Try to get at least one side in. I am not good at this, so I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm doing. I actually got it in first try. I've seen others do this. Give that a few whacks. Make sure that's seated. Looks like both sides are good. That side's actually a little off, so it could actually go down a little bit more. You can see how that's tightened up. So just a few whacks. And now we're good. Carefully take that off, make sure none of the needle bearings, the itty bitty needle bearings. Probably should clean up these surfaces, but we're just going to roll with it. That side, I was actually able to get needle bearings to seat a little bit. Slowly going to do that. And while it's like this, we'll just apply a hammer. That's almost all the way down. I'm going to swap over to my extension again to drive that down. Or drive it down, not drive it down. Slowly but surely, we will make progress. This was a whole lot easier to put on than to take the old one off, which, no surprise there. That's actually all the way down where we want it. So we're gonna go ahead. There we go. Actually, that was pretty easy. So we'll just swap it to the other side. You can see that. We're just going to try to line this up in a good way. Actually, that went on super easy. So we just got to drive it the rest of the way home. It's probably about as far as it'll go. It's hard for me to tell exactly. I'm only half blind. Try to drive it all the way home. So, no wobble. It only moves in the directions it's supposed to. We also have a new to us 4L60E four-wheel drive adapter. We're gonna have to put this on. To do it, we need to jack up the transmission just a little bit, get the transmission mounts off the bottom. There should be 15s. We also have these bolts. There will be 6 of them in a hexagon shape, I believe. Yeah, I'm not good at geometry. So, have my jack up here to support the transmission, because we have to take off the transmission mounts right here. Those should be 15s. We're just gonna go ahead, try to get this jacked up, going ahead and supporting the transmission. I did feel and see actually the truck pick up. So we're just going to start, oh gosh, start undoing these transmission mount bolts. They are indeed they are indeed 15s. I'm all about doing things myself. What do you know? Transmission's moving. It's moving and schmoving. Contact. Hey, there we go. Now we can access the stuff we need to access. No problem. I don't know who I've made mad, but I would like a break, please. Cool, I love having a cross member in the way. And I'm also very curious how much transmission fluid will dump into my face. I hope all of it. All 13, 14 quarts. I talk bad about this truck, but it's actually a good truck. You know what's great? Is once I get this replaced and the new one on, I'm gonna have to get the transfer case put on before I put the transmission mount back on, because this bolt right here interferes. I found my big ratchet, so we're gonna try this, because apparently all I can find are my big beefy 3/8 sockets, and well, not sockets but extensions. So we're gonna try. Anyway, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but my profession is IT. I have been doing IT since 2018. Well, yes, I was a lot younger when I started wrenching. I do not do this as a day job. Are you done? It is done. Okay. Seal looks about the same. Before I lose all of my transmission fluid, I would like to get that up into place. My wife is staring at me. Yeah, I just want to put in some of the bolts because I got the old adapter out. Alright. Thank you, Pumpkin. Of course. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're thanking me for. I'm working on my own truck, and I'm struggling to get a bolt started. That's fair. It is our truck. I have probably gonna end up drenching myself in transmission fluid because it is leaking quite a bit out of the transmission right now. It wouldn't hurt to get some more transmission fluid, but I still have 2 quarts, I believe. I love her. She treats me too well. She really is the light of my eyes. Just too bad I'm the what the fuck wrinkle in her forehead. That's, you know, whatever foot-pounds of spec it is. I don't know what it's supposed to be spec'd at. I just know it is tight. Well, we're gonna continue where we left off. We had left off, I got 2 bolts. Ate dinner already, so we're gonna continue and try to get as much done tonight as I can. It is currently 6:30. First, I should probably get all of my wiring hooked up somehow. Now, I get to try to lift this thing very heavy over my head. Oh, fuck. This is not going well. Fuck. Wonder if I can get on this other side. Try to use this. So I had to take a bit of a break and do this off camera. Oh, I do apologize. So I had to take a break, do this off camera. I got the transfer case back installed. It was a royal pain. And when I mean royal pain, I mean royal pain. I had to use 2 ratchet straps and my floor jack to get it put all the way up. The truck's been going for about a week now. Well, yeah, about a week now. I've missed a few things, had to fix that on the transfer case. And when you're doing this stuff, wait till the last minute to connect all the wiring. I messed up some of my wiring. It doesn't seem like it's leaking. At least if it is, it's not very much. It looks like it's barely leaking there, but I have absolutely 0 vibration from changing that U-joint. You can see the new one right here. To go over a little bit, when you're putting your drive shafts back in, do this side first. Should be able to still spin it. I had to put my transfer case in neutral because for whatever reason the front drive shaft and rear drive shaft are tied together. So I had to put it in neutral to be able to actually use or spin the front drive shaft. You actually can barely see it here, but I had to do it that way. Also, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm going crazy. You know, you gotta take it slow. You put the yoke in first, slide it in all as far as you can go, and then you do the rear, put the carrier things on, and make sure it's all tightened up. My truck uses an 11. I am pretty sure I went over that. Do that, make sure it's tight. Same thing with the front. You know, you put the end that goes into the transfer case in first, slide it all the way in. For this one, using an NP4, or no, not 4, NP246, the front is blind reverse from the rear, so make sure those splines are clean. And it should be able to just spin to where you can put it in, tighten them up, make sure, you know, nothing's loose. Top off the fluids. I needed 2 quarts of fluid, and that was actually exactly what I needed to get it to the full mark. But yeah, you know, things that take into consideration. Take it slow. Don't rush. I rushed because it was supposed to rain. It never actually rained on me the entire time I was doing this. I am concerned that it is leaking a little bit still, but it's not enough that I'm actually actively concerned. Yeah, things to keep in consideration. For mine, if you don't have it plugged in right, you won't have a speedometer. I thought it was because that was damaged. As you can see, I've replaced it. I replaced that end. It was damaged from me being stupid. Completely dumb mistake. Don't do what I did. Don't rush it. As far as that, there is one on the other side. Okay, we're back on the driver's side. There's this one right up here. I thought the VSS sensor was on the passenger side. That's what I saw online. Apparently that one had to be plugged in too to get that to work. Just be careful with your wiring. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be boot here. Mine's missing. It's been missing. Blah, 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 blah. You know, haven't bothered to replace it. To get the transmission mount, to get that back in, had to jack up the transmission. Do not tighten those, just get those loose, so that way you can get those bolts actually started in the transmission. Once that's done and tightened, you can lower the transmission down, get it all tightened up. Make sure you do that before your drive shafts are put in. But it was a pain to try to get that lined up, because I had to go up and down, try to get my wife to help me with that, because I was under here trying to get it lined up. Just take your time, don't rush things. Just lesson, don't rush things. Learn from me. Don't rush. If you liked the video, leave a like. Hopefully this was more informative than I think it would be. But yeah, that's how you replace the transfer case, gasket, and the extension housing for at least a 99 Chevy Silverado. Also how to replace the U-joint, forgot about that. How to do it without any special tools. That was a pain, but the truck's running and driving great. It's the only issues it's had is some wiring stuff with the transfer case. It got stuck in auto 4-wheel drive and drained the battery. Got stuck, you know, after it drained the battery. It worked fine. I drove it last Friday, drove fine. It seems to go in and out of 4-wheel drive fine. It's just auto 4-wheel drive is weird now. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. Ow.